Good morning. Good morning from Los Angeles. I'm Joey J. Ping, and to my left is the main man himself, Scott Prisco, CEO, founder, big boss, dog, Pinky in the Brain himself. Priscotty Delivery, formerly in New Mexico, currently in New Jersey, and soon to be in New York. Scott, you've
Yep.
got an interesting model there. I just pushed the live stream button while you were talking because you and I, bro, we're homies. We could do this live stream, no live stream. It's the same combo. We just got to catch up. We want to
Yeah.
tap in. We want to promote what you got going on. Are you in Jersey now, or where are you at in the world, Scott? You're a traveler.
We're in New York. Yeah. New
Okay,
York.
you're in New York right now. Okay, so fire.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm in
gonna be
Jersey
awesome.
I'm in Jersey like like half the week, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're in that intersection corridor area of all that
Yeah.
craziness.
Yeah, exactly. And most of our customers currently in Jersey or more like central to North Jersey.
Nice.
Where I'm from originally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right there. It's not too far from
Perfect.
New York. It's same distance.
Well, big shout out to you being back in one of your home turf areas.
Yeah.
Shout out to you for escaping out of New Mexico and that saturated, troubling market, and shouts to you for expanding into New York for your future and what is sure to be an exciting time and a journey for you. Now, before we get any further, Scott, I want to make sure we shout out the company that pays for these episodes, that allows us to give you guys the free marketing, that allows us to pay for our editors and our writers and all these people on RMR to do their job. And so, big shout out to Blackleaf for being our monthly sponsor for an episode of for an episode of the RMR podcast, where we choose to bring on retailers from around the country. It might be Jersey, maybe it's New York, maybe it's California, maybe it's New Mexico. We don't know unless you guys get on the show and join us to talk about your brands. And so, Scott, appreciate you, my man. It's a good to see you again. It's been a while since we've done an episode. It's been this whole year at least.
It's a
It's at
year.
least been
It's I
2025.
think I think it's coming up on a year now. We did something like this time last year,
Yeah.
literally the same, and that was right before my heart surgery. So we kind
Mm-hmm.
of that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah. So
deterred.
two surgeries, right? Pinky and
Yeah,
your heart, man. We're
the
we're
pinky
lucky
in
to
the
have you
heart.
still, brother, man. No
Yeah,
joke.
it's been a crazy year, dude. It's been a crazy year, but we keep it rolling.
They can't. You said it offline. I only need four fingers to fuck you up. You don't even need your pinky. And at this point, he's got a heart from Star Wars. You basically plug him in like he's the Matrix, folks, and that's how we're keeping Scott around. He's tapped into the code, the Matrix himself, and that's how we're running Prescotty Delivery at this point. Is data driven. You've got your retail partners. You've got a unique model still running, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we made a little adjustments from our initial launch out west, and
Yep.
we kind of took what we liked, learn our lessons, built our product, and taking all that knowledge and reapplying it now to a higher growth market, and it's been working well for us. We're excited.
I like that. So to remind people, because it's been almost a year, right? If not a year, right, already. So let's remind people a little bit about your guys' infrastructure, your model, the business that you've set up for yourself. In basic terms, you're actually partnered with deliveries. They hold all the product, they house it, they're the licensed retailer, and you, we'll call it, amplify their digital e-com retail experience, not on their own website, but you're an extension of that in the delivery format.
Correct. Yeah. So essentially, we come in and say, "Hey, look, we all know people like getting delivery. We all know, it's not easy in the cannabis space. There's a lot of nuances and a lot of moving parts. And let us come in. We'll partner with you and let us drive more revenue for you, higher cart values, and let us help you acquire new customers and take over your local market and beat out your competitors." Through the use of a great user experience and delivery. We do work off of dispensaries websites, though. We do,
Okay,
so we
okay.
we try to help them on that end as well. But we're really leaning into the new Prescotty virtual retailer platform that we're just about to launch in the next month. So yeah, we're leaning into that, and it's going to be a great user experience, quick turn delivery. But basically, dispensaries can also utilize our technology, our wherewithal, our operations, and our delivery infrastructure with their own website, if they will as well. We see different customers need different things,
Yeah.
right? Some people, some smaller mom and pop dispensaries just want the added revenue. They don't have as much resources on their own tech or experience on their
help
own
us
tech.
move product. Like we just need to
Yeah.
offer a service and get these, more items out to people, right? Basket size, and even in some cases increased frequency of orders when you have a
Correct. Yeah. Yep. That's it. That's it. It's really to create the goal is to create the best user experience possible in the cannabis space where people actually want to go and utilize it because it's you get that same experience you would on like an Amazon, right?
Yeah, I
So
don't like when I have to order things digitally, man, for delivery to my house or to my PO box or whatever it is. I hate jumping through all the hoops, bro. I hate spend this much to get this off on the delivery charge. I hate having to hit this number here to get the to unlock something new. It just is too much when I'm finally ready to order what I need directly to my crib. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but
Like,
plus make take it a step further in the cannabis space. Like you just mentioned pre-show, the technology stacks. A lot of them have weird quirks, right? Like
mhm,
they're not the best user experiences. They're mass produced. It's an iframe. You're not getting the SEO. Um, it's not geared towards a straight to consumer play.
yeah.
So it's not the best user experience for a consumer. And I know so many people that are like, I'd love to just buy it online and get it delivered, but it's just not ideal because of the way that the dispensaries have their platform set up. So the
It
goal the
drives me
goal is to try to
nuts
change
having
it.
to log in and do this and that. And it's like, yo, on Amazon, I can just be a guest and order something on so many different e-commerce websites for, let's look at like the businesses that still have stores at the mall, for example. Like that's the classic brick and mortar that exists for our generation, right? Just mall stores. But on
Mhm.
every one of those, I can pretty much continue as a guest and not give them my info and still buy something and leave. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, and that to me is when you give people the option, and obviously I'm a marketer, you understand marketing at a pretty high level. We both want loyalty. We want customers to sign up for our stuff and be more involved. But at what cost? At the cost of me having a bad taste and ordering from you once, maybe? Or can we really work to hone in that experience online and truly amplify the digital e-com, the delivery experience, right? Why
Yeah.
is it more fun to order an $8 pizza from Little Caesars and Domino's than it is for me to order wheat? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it goes back to the technology and the resources a lot of these companies like Domino's put into their user experience, dude. Like when the delivery game first started, Domino's, it's an interesting, funny story. They're like, we're not going to use Uber Eats and DoorDash. We're going to build out our own platform. They recently just joined, I think, one of the two. I'm not sure which one, but Domino's really prioritized creating like the best experience to order pizza and get it quickly, and that they're in the game. They're still around because of
Yeah.
that, right?
And
So
crushing too, they're getting fresh branding. They got
yep,
that cool. I feel like Pepsi and Domino's campaign, right? Where like the Pepsi person follows the Domino driver around or whatever. Like there's collab marketing that we
yep.
see in that realm. Like how cool is that? For them to be succeeding at that space. When I look around the Pizza Huts, brother, they look kind of dark, dusty, and a little burnt. You know what
Yo,
I'm saying? These Pizza
the
Huts.
Domino's are taking them over. Yeah, yeah.
Facts,
I mean,
facts, facts.
people don't even think about Pizza Hut anymore.
Now, switching away from this pizza tangent and bringing up the technology as a focal point, as you were alluding to there, and talking about, let's talk a little bit about some specifics, maybe some data, if you can think of some points or some patterns that you've seen. What kind of impact does your business model have on these retail partners after you've seen? Because we're talking the last update's a year ago, brother, and things are so different. In
Yeah.
the New Jersey market, the New York market's different than what it was. So, what kind of
Well,
impacts and patterns are you seeing from
Well,
an?
one, we're seeing a lot higher average order values than we anticipated in New Jersey. Anywhere from 130 to 160. Some
Wow.
dispensaries are at that 160 range, which is insane because Jersey across the board is usually around 90, 95 in-store purchases. So people are buying a lot. They're tipping our drivers really well in New Jersey. So that's making it easier for us to retain drivers. And we're seeing that a lot of these dispensaries are driving like, once they're launching delivery, they're getting some good traction their depending on how much revenue they're doing and how many customers they already see prior to launching delivery. But a lot of them are getting around on the delivery orders, they're getting around 20% new customers with delivery, and then 80 recurring people who are 80% recurring who've already bought in the store. So they're seeing new customers on their platform, and they're also, they're driving more revenue. So, and they're taking more business from their competitors. So yeah, it's the data is good where it shows really well. They're able to expand their range, and a lot of these dispensaries in Jersey, there's little pockets of, I don't know if you're too familiar with the Jersey market, but there's a lot of counties, towns have opted out. So you're starting to see like strongholds of different areas where they had
Yeah,
a lot of dispensaries in the one area, right? And then you won't have dispensaries in another area at all.
yeah, these wheat
So
deserts.
yeah, so you're seeing like it's a great way to like get a step ahead of your competition by offering that service, and that's our goal.
I think that is a no brainer. Those are underserved, undervalued, and underappreciated in terms of attention. And to get in the SEO realm or to go be in those areas and networking with people, getting them in to a loyalty program.
Mhm.
Big shout out to our sponsor Blackleaf, 10 DLC compliant text messaging experts in cannabis. It's being able to communicate directly with the people you want to speak to is of paramount importance when it comes to being a retailer, and specifically one that operates primarily digital, which would be your style of retail, right? This e-com
Correct.
digital style. You're not popping up with a iPad and a point of sale, right? At places at this time.
Nope. Yeah, no. So yeah, exactly, exactly. The mention the SEO too. It's funny because we had a lot of success with SEO in New Mexico. It's taking a little bit more time to get going than I would have liked in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't, we are gonna, we haven't really done much press or anything like that. So we've been kind of low key on that front, just really getting our operations down. So once we do more of that, I'm hoping that we'll start to see an uptake in that SEO. But I think there's a lot of chance to, I think there's a lot of chance to acquire new customers through that method in New Jersey. There's
Yeah.
just not a lot going on. So trying to break through the noise.
Yeah, it seems that New Jersey, being so close to New York but vastly different, a lot of noise. It is saturated. There's not a lot of brands, but in terms of like quantity compared to the Michigans, Oklahomas, Colorados, Oregons, Cali, all that stuff. But there is a large number of people out there in different groups. Um, are you noticing any patterns or trends from a product or strain standpoint? Do you notice them smoking, like New York is off the haze historically, or the sour diesels and the pips? Like, are you noticing anything uh, different or unique to New Jersey from other areas?
No, I think it's similar. I think you're seeing a lot of similar stuff. I think it goes in waves altogether, honestly. Like I think like, you get like the runs is trendy, and then, this will be trendy. So I think it goes in waves, and I think the market is it's pretty it's pretty it's pretty much the same as other parts of the industry and other markets. You're seeing a lot of the same suppliers, like people getting the same genetics from other places. So you're seeing similar strains pop up. People are obviously prioritizing flower. Edibles is big. Issue targeted stuff. There's a couple brands doing some really cool stuff with that. So you're seeing more of that in the New Jersey and in New York market. It's definitely a more sophisticated consumer, cannabis consumer, than some of the markets we've seen out west. So, yeah, I
Cool.
mean, it's prices are still relatively high. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, we see most people are smoking weed, pre rolls, and edibles, and followed by vape. So those are kind of like the hierarchy of what's being bought.
Interesting. Some really solid insights into what people are consuming there from what you're seeing, especially through a delivery lens perspective. Um, when
But
when
are people on the delivery front, when they add stuff to their cart, it's pretty wide ranging. They'll get a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? We do see that a lot. People get a little bit of everything, which is cool. They're
you
definitely trying it out. Definitely trying out new products.
and so are you integrating into these people's websites? Are you just the fulfillment sites? Are you just the drop
Well,
shipping side of it from their website, or what does that look like? Or how
no,
does
we integrate into their POS, so all the orders flow into their POS, and then we get them that way.
So
So
as soon
no,
as
we
it's just marked or flagged as being the delivery order or whatever it is, that's when it comes your way and you guys go do your thing,
correct,
and then it
correct.
triggers your guys' stuff. Cool. So that's yeah, simple turnkey, integrated. So that's fire. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's so yeah, it's all streams into the POS, keeps it easy for everyone. The POS is kind of like the brains of or the you could say the POS is like the heart of the business, and then that keeps everything afloat, and all everything flows into the POS from compliance to the e-com. It's all connected in that realm. So yeah, it's the easiest way to get things done, and we pull stuff that way, and we also send orders in through the POS too. Like we're going to
Hmm.
be pulling your inventory and sending them back, like two-way integration. So it sends back into the POS.
In terms of like working with you, say I'm a retailer out there in one of these areas next to one of the weed deserts, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh, so I have a dispensary there. I want to rock with you. And how quick and easy is it for us to get synced up together and to be able to update my socials and my weed maps and my listings in all these different places or whatever, and communicate that we offer delivery? Like, what's a solid turnaround to be able to turn it on and have everything updated and be running together, do you think?
30 to 45 days. New Jersey is a little bit unique because you have to go through the process of getting people badged and the program approved by the CRC. So it's a little different, and some of the timeline is not in our hands. Like once we do our work, it's up to the CRC to kind of take on the rest of that and approve that. So but I'd say 30 to 45 days from our experience. They're pretty decent. Sometimes we've had a couple hiccups with them, taking a long time, and just investigators getting switched out and losing track of what the other one has done. So that's taken a long time for some of these dispensaries. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, usually 30 to 45 days. And then a lot of it's based on our demand too. So, we're not trying to overpromise. We're definitely going slower, building a more sturdy infrastructure than we have in the past. So we're trying to, keep we're trying to yeah, not overdo it and take too much on. So it also depends on what our flow looks like in that moment. But we're prioritizing certain dispensaries in certain areas that we want to focus on too. So there's areas that we haven't touched yet, and are not high on the priority list. So we kind of have our set outbound sales approach in that
That
realm.
makes sense. So right now, are you guys more interested in increasing deliveries for these partners or acquiring new dispensary partners in different places?
I'd say the second. I'd say we're more interested in gaining more traction at each location rather
Hmm.
than taking on more locations. Absolutely.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's kind of what we're doing. We're focusing on a small core group of clients that have really great operations. They understand the business, and they're already excelling in the retail space, and they want the added revenue and coverage. So yeah, we're prioritizing. We're not the major difference between now and what we used to do is we used to kind of run it like DoorDash, right? Where you would have like in the same area you would have 10 different dispensaries you could choose from, and then we just saw it create so many issues operationally, technology wise. It created so many issues, and a lot of the dispensaries we realized have the same products. So, and they're around the same price point. So we're like, you know what? Let's just link up. Let's just carve it out and link up with one retailer in each area we want to be in, and then we'll have the delivery infrastructure built out through that, and that will service that whole area. So we're working closer and more tightly with a close knit of people. So
Yeah, versus
well,
the other way, you're taking delivering food from a bunch of different places, if you would.
correct,
Yeah,
correct. So yeah, it's moving away from that Weed Maps aggregator style more into our goal of being, a virtual retailer, um, using other people's inventory to fulfill our orders that we bring. So yeah,
is there a compliance element to your side of things, or is it just on the retailer side of things? Like, do you have what? How do
no,
you guys have to ensure compliance for the delivery part of it?
no, everything. Yeah, we ensure delivery. We ensure compliance through our technology that we build, and that's part of the value prop that we offer is the technology that we support through these deliveries, whether that be metric integrations, POS integrations. It's all done that way, or BioTrack in New York. But yeah, no, it's all done through the technology that we supply. So yeah, it's definitely part of our value proposition.
Yeah, I'm like, can't exist without compliance. That's what retailers say is often the most important part of everything.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, it's one of those things where it doesn't make you money, but it can create issues for you, right? So it's definitely something you need to prioritize and keep track of, and just having someone that knows how to handle those things, and when things go wrong, like knows how to compensate for that, and and knows the different little quirks of the systems and how to account for different things and stay compliant is definitely key.
Scott, you're in Jersey now. When we first connected a couple years ago, New Mexico was the focus, the start, then active operations. That's now no longer happening. You've optimized your business model to be this carved out focus, as you were just talking about there in Jersey. This model that's less DoorDash and weed maps, whether it's aggregating or just pulling from all these different restaurants or stores and offering so many products. It seems to me like that would be like a tornado of change all the time, and kind of
Yeah.
kind of violent in a various ways. And
Well,
to now this
well,
more efficient model.
Yeah, we cut a lot of the fat. I mean, yes, 100%. It's volatile. The other model was very volatile.
Yeah,
And there's so many different moving parts, and then it throws things off everywhere, and then it just makes user experience and the end result way more complex than it needs to be.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
doesn't add value, right? It doesn't the negatives outweigh the positives in that sense.
Yeah,
So it's like
you might pick up more speed and get more velocity, and what I mean by that is either more revenue or more customers or adding more value.
it's flashy, but it's
But
not
it
stable.
seemingly it had the opportunity to create more friction, whether it was friction for you on your side or friction for them. It seemed to me like that has a lot more friction points because of change, just a lot of moving parts,
Yeah.
as you said.
And we were like, what's our core competency, right? It's delivery. Like, how do you get people the best experience possible from the time they order to the time it gets their house? Like, how do we do that? And we took it a step back and was like, this is the way to get this done based on our experience. So yeah, it's a lot of like, but that's business, Joey. I mean, with Mitch and RMR, like it's a constant revision, right? Like you're constantly innovating, you're learning from your mistakes, you're building your product, you're adjusting things. That's business, man. Like, so it's you got to do it, and that's how you go the distance. You got to
Yeah,
learn from your
absolutely.
mistakes and see. You got to see what's going on and then adjust. So
Now
that's what
let's
we do.
use that phrase going, we got to go the distance, right? Let's take that phrase and go the distance into the next topic of New York, your future endeavor, current project that's not in the background, it's becoming the foreground now. It's starting to, it's been in the works. We're starting to see that happen. You're there in Jersey, you're close by. They're not the same identical markets with the same products, although 20% of them are the same, the rest are not.
Yeah.
Uh, the the reality is that's going to be a whole different beast. And so, without sharing too much of what your plans are, walk us through a little bit of your mindset and what you're working on, and maybe a timeline if you could.
Yeah, so our mindset first and foremost is find the right clients. Find the right clients that have
Partners.
find the right partners that have multiple different dispensaries that can provide us multiple different layers of coverage in different spots of New York, whether that be in the five boroughs or Buffalo or wherever
Yeah,
that might
create
be.
maybe a triangle or some region, or carve something out like you were just talking about.
Yeah, so find the right partners and first and foremost.
Okay.
Second, we tested the bikes in Hoboken, which work really well, and they have their own whole set of quirks and kinks and finding different drivers. It's a very niche thing. So the whole e-bike hustle. So that is getting that done, and that's something we launched in Hoboken with the goal of letting that transfer into the city because we have a lot of success with those orders turning very quickly, 15 to 20 minutes. You can't beat it. So, in
Yeah.
most of the time, it would take someone longer to get out of their house, go to the store and come back, then we can get it to them. So that's really the goal is how can we provide the quickest turn possible. So yeah, that's those e-bikes is going to be, that's something to watch out for in New York. We're going to be doing a lot more with that.
E-bikes is a part of the future of cannabis delivery there in a
Yeah.
big way.
Well, and plus, it's great for the drivers too because then they're not paying for gas and car expenses, right? So they're paid the same amount of money from on our end, and they don't have as much out-of-pocket expenses for themselves. So they're netting more at the end of the day. They're taking home more. So it's a lot more efficient in that realm too. Also, the carbon footprint is important, right? Like
Yeah.
contributing to the carbon footprint and doing the right thing and taking traffic off the road for other people who maybe need it more. And so yeah, so yeah, it's that's definitely something to look out for. Is that's our goal is the
So we're
solid
on
e-bike
we're
platform.
looking for New York partners, multiple locations. So all of you New York folks, tap in if you
Yep.
guys are looking for a delivery option, API integration to be able to just make it a streamlined experience to get these orders to the people in a designated region as quick as they can. It's up to you guys to get the traffic to your store. It's up to you guys to convert your current stores people into also doing orders when they have friends over or when they have guests over to their house or they're going to a party and they need it sent on the way while they're getting ready, but versus picking it up while they're driving to something, right? Like it just adds so much value being able to have that convenience, Scott.
Well, plus, like we really want to help a lot of these people convert the black market into their stores because traditionally in New York, that's how you buy cannabis, right? Like you have a dealer, they pull up on a bike, and so if we can kind of help capture some of that market, we can really pull a new customer base to these dispensaries they wouldn't have had otherwise. So
Yeah.
that's one of our main goals as far as New York goes.
Is New York battling the black market digitally with SEO and all that stuff too?
Yeah, yes,
Those guys are
dude.
spending ads, huh? They're
There's
all ads and videos and content and all SEO.
there's illicit delivery operations that are pretty intricate. Like they're using like good technology. They were looking for the right way to do the wrong thing. So is what I like to say. But no, there's some pretty legit operations that are ran black markets for sure.
That's
So
impressive.
it's funny, but it's crazy. But yeah, they were battling on the SEO front, and then a lot of people wouldn't even know. Like you wouldn't even know it's not a license.
Yeah.
The average consumer probably wouldn't even know.
Now, Scott, the average consumer doesn't know much. We know that. And it's not to be rude, but they haven't tried. They haven't, how much do we know about things we don't know, Scott? That's a big spectrum of a lot of shit left to learn. You know what I mean? You apply it to cannabis and
Yeah.
you're a novice consumer or somebody who just is a general customer, you smoke because you like to, or maybe you just it does one or two things. Maybe you're not the everything before everything kind of person, like I smoke a joint before I do most things. I take edibles to go to sleep. I take tinctures when I want it to hit even faster. Like we know, you know what I mean? Like we're different in that.
Well, a lot of people too, like these days, it's all about short-term gratification. Everything's at your fingertips. So it's like, just give me my cannabis, right? Like I don't want to put too much effort out. I don't care as long as it's safe product, it's good product,
Yep.
it's reasonable pricing. Just give me my product. So on the customer's defense too, it's like they don't even have to care, right? I mean,
No.
most of the time it's not through like ignorance. It's more of like that's not a priority of mine, right? Just get me my
Yeah.
cannabis, right? So you know,
Now, this next question, I'm gonna do my second to last shout out to Blackleaf here again because these like when I think of their team and what we do and how text messaging is so valuable, and then we've got social media and the struggles there, right? I know
mhm.
you've had many struggles with Instagram. I've seen the Priscotty accounts there, then they're gone, then they're there, then they're gone, and it's like you guys aren't really doing anything that's too crazy or that is like so intrusive in my life that I don't know why someone would just be hating or banning it. Maybe it's the algorithm. Meta has recently come out and said that they're not treating cannabis the same as they always have been. They're, kind of lessening it. People are still going down and have gone down as recently as, the last 14 days I've seen some of the homies. So it's
Yep.
like with this question specifically being powered by the Blackleaf fam and the importance of communicating it, talk to me a little bit about the importance of communicating directly with the customers. Is it text messaging number one? Or is it Instagram number one? Like, where do you rank things these days, and what
I
do you
think
feel is most effective?
text is one of the best tools possible. If you have a solid list of people who have bought or like their warm leads, I think text message is one of the most important ways to communicate. The open rates are a lot better than email. People get so much spam email these days. You get like 2-3% to 10% of people opening your email, and then so you get like 10, you'll have like 10% of people opening your email, and then another 2 to 3% click through rate. So it's pretty low. Where text message I've seen as high as 40, 50%. So open rate. So text is definitely a great way. Obviously, there's a lot of trouble with that in the cannabis space
Yeah.
with text messages and the courier, the
Gotta
carrier.
be gotta be compliant and gotta make sure that the things you're putting and posting and sending out also fall in
Yeah.
compliance as well.
Yeah, and that. But if you can do text message right, I think it's one of the best tools. If you have a solid list of people, that's the way to drive people and build urgency and make
Mhm.
sales.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, with you guys, what do you find? Uh, what are you finding in the New Jersey market? Are people on their phones the same? Is it the email? Is it these things that you're mentioning? Is what you're talking about from New Mexico, or is it generalized? What have you been seeing specific to the New Jersey market that's been effective for you guys and your retail partners? Because I mean, ultimately, it's you working hand in hand with them, right? So
Yeah, so I'd say online having the good SEO is worked. Driving traffic that way. A lot of
that's
guerrilla
the new
style.
business. That's like the near me and help me find. That's the people that are looking for dispensaries.
Yeah, but I think just the classic guerrilla style marketing too, because there's so many people that you talk to that have no clue, like they're so out of the loop, or like cannabis dispensaries, and they're like, oh, weed's legal in New Jersey, or oh, there's a delivery service now, like they don't know. So it's just like that
Yeah,
old school classic guerrilla style, just awareness right now. Because like you said, people are not even just like they're not
yeah.
trained yet to look for that, right? So you're
Yeah, and if
kind of
they're
at this.
flashed an ad or they see a billboard, it's not the same as, hey, did you know this is legal? Look this up and
Yeah.
gift it to your grandma who might need it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a conversation. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That's a story. That's a, hey, how are you? Did you know this? Oh, no, I didn't. Right? Relationship convo. Oh, yeah, by the way, solution. Here we go. We've got this, this, and this. Oh, I don't smoke. Well, weed isn't just this. It can go so many ways, and you can't communicate all those different things in a billboard, in an ad, in a post, in a text message all
Well,
the time.
the Jersey has a lot of regulations too, because you have to be able to prove that 80% of the people that you're marketing to are over the age of 21. So
Mm-hmm.
and so that takes away a lot of things, right?
That could damn
Um,
near take away Google.
yeah, I mean, it for sure takes away. I mean, the billboards are it's tough to do in Jersey. And then you
Yeah,
need to be a certain size, but your classic billboard, like forget about it. It's not going to happen.
crazy.
Um, so yeah, there's a lot of nuances. We found a lot of success with like bars, the adult targeted markets. We got a lot of bar coasters coming out, captive audience sitting down, local people. So yeah, I mean, we're being creative. So but we're having that we're seeing success in that.
I like that idea, man. We when I used to work with Leafly as a brand ambassador, some of our more effective campaigns were going out to concerts at bars and dive bars and talking
Yep.
to those 20 to 60 people and then sliding over to another one, hitting another 20 to 60 and finding that those conversations were people that actually would download something because
Yeah.
or they just were incredibly relatable because they were out and about, they liked food, they liked music, they liked drinking. Half of them liked weed or they knew or their friend liked weed or whatever it was, like those were great
Well,
situations to go
well,
grow your
Well,
business.
what I mean, alcohol and weed are a very parallel product in the sense of a lot of people who smoke drink, right? Like for vice versa. And I can't tell you how many times like I go out and start having a couple drinks at a bar. I'm like, you know what, I really would really hit the spot if I just had a joint right now.
Yeah.
So you can take that instant action right there. And so many people want that. Like like you mentioned at these music festivals, and it's like, how can I get the product now? Like and continue having my fun, but still make it convenient and get the product now, right? And delivery service is the perfect solution for that. So,
I always
um,
like those kinds of surprises when someone is just, oh, I have a joint right now, and we're all like 2 or 3 or 4 beers deep, somewhere out of brewery or something.
that's like chasing unicorns. It doesn't always happen for
Oh
those for
man,
times
but
that you
when
don't
it
have that
does, it's
friend.
the best
You got
joint.
Priscotty. You got Priscotty for times that you don't, that your friend
Come on,
doesn't come through.
Prescotti, bringing in the plug, man. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Jersey. I know you're a smoker. I know you care about quality. Lay it on me, man. What are your thoughts? We just had the NBA Finals. I like basketball. All that good stuff. It's women's basketball season right now. What's your starting five favorite flower brands, whatever out there in Jersey, man? Who's got the heat, bro? Lay it on me.
I've been rocking with a lot of edibles lately. I really
Okay.
like I like the 1906s and the Grands.
These are Prisco's picks, folks. Prisco's picks, like it's ESPN. Let's go. What do we get?
Yeah, so I'll rock. All right, I'll take. Okay, so I'll take two edibles. I'll go 1906 capsules. I like the issue targeted play. They're great. You know, not too high dose. They're easy to just pop in and keep rolling. I like the Grand pearls, the sugar coated pearls.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good mix of like CBG, CBC, different sativa,
How many
indica.
milligrams are you doing the tens?
Yeah, those are tens. Those are
Yeah.
tens. I'll pop a couple of tens. Yeah. And then or like the 1906, they're 5 milligrams, so you just take like two or three of them. What I'll usually do is you start with one, and then you kind of enjoy that, and then all right, it's time to take it up a notch. Going
We
for the
got
second one, third one, right?
We got Prisco popping weed pills, capsules, and he's popping pearls, folks. He's popping pearls. You
That's
know, I've
funny.
heard people literally say that phrase all over the country, popping pearls about Grown's
There's
products. Big shout out to Groon and what they have going on over there.
Yeah, there's a company in New York. I'm not sure what the brand name is now. I can think about it, but they have like Canagars. They do like a hemp wrap Canagar with a glass tip. They smoke real nice. They're out of New York. I think it's like Good Day New York or good. There's New York in the name. I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure, but those are top notch because when I smoke, I like blunts. That's my favorite. I don't really do joints. That's not really my thing.
Ooh, I'm a joint.
Um,
I don't. I gave up the blunts here a couple years ago.
I like it, dude. If you're gonna smoke, just do it up. You know what I mean? That's my philosophy,
Smoking. I'm happy to
right?
smoke. I'm happy to
No,
hit your blunt. You don't got to hit my joint. That just means more for me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's true. That's true. And then I take like that you got the Canagar product, you got the two edibles. I throw in, I mean, Aero vapes are always a classic. I
I
like
like
those.
arrows, whips. Yeah.
They hit pretty nice. And then I mean and then I'd say like just some of like the liquid diamond I've had from some of the MSOs are actually pretty good too. Like the botanist and the cannabis. Some of those just like classic liquid diamond disposable
Yeah. Yeah.
vapes they hit pretty well on the East Coast. So I take those. As far as flower brands go,
Yeah. Come on, man. This is what people are waiting for, bro. Prisco's picks on the flower. What you got? What you got? What you got?
flower brands. Clad Nine is good. Niche is good. They make some good quality products with cool packaging, so they're pretty good. I'd say those two in New Jersey are pretty good.
Clade Nine. Who was the second one?
Niche.
Niche. Clade Nine and
Yeah,
Niche. Let's go. Shout out
they
Niche. I
not.
haven't heard
Yeah,
that one.
check them out. They have cool packaging. Really like crafty stuff. So yeah, I'd say those are the two. Those are New Jersey based though, both of them.
Yeah.
In New York, flour. If you just want loose leaf flour, um, I don't even know. I really haven't even bought any flour in New York, honestly. I wouldn't even know. I've smoked more California flour in New York. That bodega weed.
Ain't that the, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the fucking
So
truth?
I couldn't even tell you. New
You know,
York
people
flour.
people there in New York definitely they let it be known that although there is craft grows there and stuff like that, and there are great quality growers all over doing the mix light, and there's small craft indoor grows there too. Now on the legal license rec side, the adult use side, they obviously all know that there's better weed at scale in other places, right?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
for
they all
sure.
know that. There's definitely the proud New Yorkers, which is fine. Just like the Cali people won't admit that sometimes they're beat out in other places too, right? But New York has some great products. What I say always about New York's market, Scott, is that they're great right now because of the flower. They're great at manufacturing items and producing and creating items
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
cultivating
Yes.
the highest flower
And
quality.
I'll tell you, I really don't like how New York and New Jersey it's all prepackaged product. You can't go in like Colorado, and then in Colorado when you go in, you can open the jars of bud. You see the bud, you can smell it. They use chopsticks to weigh it out, right? And you can kind of get a really big feeling for it. So I find that I buy more flour in those markets where they have the deli style. Where in New Jersey and New York, it's prepackaged. You really don't see the product. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. The manufactured goods, I've been rocking with more in New Jersey and New York than I ever have. So that's kind of been my shift in preference lately. So that's funny you mentioned that, but it's so true.
I just couldn't help but notice that there is great branding, great products,
Yep.
good if not great decisions on hardware use. Um, but sitting
Yeah.
here right now, I mean, Clade 9 in New Jersey, not even the California version of Clade 9, which is where they came from in South Central LA, like the
Hmm.
New Jersey version of them, which I've been in their facility and it's phenomenal there too. I'd say it's a little bit behind the Cali quality because Cali's, Dave's home stomping ground here. But like the reality to me was that that shit was better than anything else I had in New York. And Clade 9's not, and this is what's crazy. I don't know anybody, and I'll defer some of the responsibility and remove me from it. I don't know anybody that's putting Clade 9 in the top 20 in California, top 10.
Yeah.
They grow great, phenomenal weed. It's just
Yeah.
when you talk about the next level genetics and then designer genetics with designer genetics in the parent genetics, and I don't know all this. Maybe it's the hype or maybe it is the packaging. I don't know. I don't care. I just know that I love their OGs their private reserve, and that private reserve, the worst version of it we ever got in 4 years from Clade 9 was still better than anything I'd ever smoked in New York. And then there's
Yeah.
also, that's not even mentioning the Garden State banana guys, the Garden Greens, Garden State, Garden.
Yeah, Garden. I haven't really tried their products.
Their product was just as good as the stuff I got here in California.
Really?
Uh, yeah,
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Mylar bags. Honestly, it just
that's
seems like
fair.
it
That's fair.
feels like to me. It feels like and I don't mean this in a bad way. It just feels
No,
like you're buying budget weed, right? Like I want if I'm gonna buy an eighth, I want a glass jar.
but don't
Um.
forget, you can buy a $500 Supreme backpack, and it just says Supreme on a Jan Sport backpack, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true, but yeah, it's
So I
true.
look at it like, to me, when you get into that realm of
Good point.
buying, I almost said bazaying. What the fuck is that? When you get into the realm of buying designer weed or high end exotics or that more fancier stuff, you have to weigh the experience more. You have to weigh the packaging more, the creative stuff on it. If it's a boring Mylar bag, then you're fucking right times 50. You know what I mean? But if that
Yep.
shit looks sick, shiny, cool design, maybe
Yeah.
custom artwork, maybe they different artwork for every strain. Like if there's really money and effort spent into each individual thing, then I rock with that because to me it plays into the whole thing. If that's merchandise, that's just a piece of thing. Yeah, it is weed, and the weed is going to be its own thing. But if it's even in cooler packaging, like bro, I saw this a half ounce yesterday. It looked like it was in a square DVD Blu-ray container. Like,
That's crazy.
but in a box. So imagine a Blu-ray container, and then in a box, right? Wouldn't that be a special edition DVD at that point? Nothing crazy, but wouldn't it be a special one?
Yeah.
You see? So it's just like I look at it like sometimes like those, depending on the bag or if there's a box involved, it can definitely add value. But man, if the company doesn't have a good digital ecosystem for me to continue the experience, if I can't scan some shit and go be a
Yeah.
part of something or follow more and maybe win on some Coca-Cola cap points type of shit, then it's
Yep.
like then it's missed because super brands deserve a super fan ecosystem, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think some of those craft guys are probably the ones that are going to be doing that, right? Where it's like a lot of those, you know, anywhere from B minus to B plus range product. It's just like, how can I just get this out, right?
You
So,
got to improve the
um,
appeal of it, right?
for
The
sure. But again,
brand.
I've just never been from a branding perspective. I've never been a fan of the Mylar bags.
Dude, I remember the first time we called designer weed, like we used that phrase, we actually used it on Golden State Banana and some of their Mylar bags back in 2017, 18, because it was crazy genetics times crazy genetics, right? Designer genetic level stuff. And then the bag looked like some Louis Vuitton shit.
Hmm.
Like, and so it just that became a style that I
Hmm.
hadn't existed yet, for the most part. And then a lot of other brands have obviously gone down that train. You've got brands out here that look like there's one that's called, I want to say Blue Moon. They're jewelers, right? They're famous jewelers out here. Um, and so it's like their stuff looks, in line with that similar style of luxury premium style branding. But I think it's dope. There's a different caliber of product all over the place. New York does a really phenomenal job. I think Heirloom out there has phenomenal products. I think there's a number of outdoor flower brands that have really strong brands. And because they're growing the diesels and some fruity sativas and things like that, I think that their flower actually tasted good in joint form there, and in eighth form. I have been disappointed a couple times by the diesels and the sours that I've gotten, but I bought some legacy market stuff there in New York from this brand, Piff House Genetics, I think, and it was one of the best things I smoked all last year. Grapefruit Piff. It was insane. One of the best
Really?
smokes of last year and the last couple years was Grapefruit Piff from New York, which was nuts. It was fucking crazy. Bag stunk for like 2 weeks after the weed was already gone from it.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
terps. Well,
Yeah,
Scott, I
but
appreciate you joining us here today. Really thankful that to reconnect with you and to be able to chat and find out about your moves. I'm happy to hear that New Mexico is, and behind us. I'm excited for what you're doing in Jersey, and you have New York really,
yeah.
right there in front of you on the horizon. And so, any retailers there in New York, be sure to reach out. Scott, what's a good way to get a hold of you, brother?
Hit us, yeah, hit me up. Yeah, go. You can go on our website. So there's a book a demo page. That's a great way to get. We all look at that and kind of prioritize those, and then shoot. Like a lot of people just shoot us a Instagram DM too. So shoot us an Instagram DM. That's the easiest way as well. But when you come out, we'll have to go around to some of these retailers too. So I think there could be some pretty cool content. A lot of these people put a lot of money into these stores too in New Jersey. So they have a really great aesthetic look, and I think it would make for some good content. So hit me up when you're out east, and we can go around to a couple places.
Yes, sir. Come on, man. Priscotty Delivery in the building. We got the big boss himself, Scott Prisco, here, folks. Be sure to tap in, like, follow, subscribe. Scott, what's your website? Say it again.
Priscotty.com.
Priscotty.com. That's Priscotty.com. Today's episode brought to you guys by blackleaf.io, our premier partner for SMS marketing with no contracts or commitments as low as 1 cent per text. Make sure y'all tap in if you would want to learn more about that. We'll be getting you guys some more episodes coming in hot about New York, about Jersey. Big shout out to our usual sponsor for New York and New Jersey episodes, Trees. They're our partners for those regions. Just want to make sure we show love to the people that help us do what we do, Scott. And you as well, man. You've been a supporter of RMR for a while now, and we appreciate that support and for you giving us your time and educating our following and our readership and viewership. So thank you again, everybody. We'll see you on the next